Former President Obama is getting back into the community organizing with a new project. It's exciting. It's called Redistricting U. Starting in 2021, they're going to send redistricting experts to train activists in targeted states to combat partisan gerrymandering after the 2020 census. But critics are skeptical. The group behind the new initiative is called allontheline.org, which itself is affiliated with a group chaired by former AG Eric Holder. Sure, people are making a lot of money here, consultants. Furthermore, All on the Line has a list of 10 priority states it's targeting, and you can see them right here on the map: North Carolina, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Wisconsin. But here's the kicker. Trump won 9 of those states in 2016 and only lost in Colorado by less than 5%. So is this really just a campaign to help the Democrats and hurt Republicans? Joining me now, of course, Victor Davis Hanson, senior fellow at Hoover, and Dinesh D'Souza, conservative author and filmmaker. VDH, let's start with you. What's your take about Obama now, a couple $100 million later in the coffers for him, now getting back into politics? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think he feels his brand has been tarnished, and he's got to go back to, as you said, his street organizing origins, the Acorn era. And the reason is Donald Trump is systematically, with the pen and phone executive order methodology that he inherited from Obama, undoing his entire agenda. And the icon of the Obama administration is a very unimpressive Joe Biden that Obama's not comfortable with. And you've got this spectacle of the Democratic primary candidates running almost against the Obama legacy. You add all that up, and then the optics of a green woke socialist spending $25 million on 2 mansions, one of which is right on the seacoast, at a time when he warned us that the seas would be rising and that you've made enough money at some point not to profit anymore, spread the wealth, you didn't build that. It's just not a good, can't square that circle. So he's trying to get back and restore the Obama of 2008, I suppose.
Dinesh, he was smarting, right? Dinesh, after the 2016 election results, I mean, it all got blown away that night. I mean, I'd love to have seen his face, like a time-lapse photo. So now this kind of seems like a weak move, though. It doesn't seem all that impressive to me, but he knows if Trump gets reelected, all these never-Trumpers, it's done. It's done for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, 2016 was a repudiation of Obama, even more than a repudiation of Hillary. And with Obama, this whole notion that he's somehow trying to restore procedural fairness, I mean, it worked in 2004, it worked in 2008. It's been a declining credibility issue ever since. Now, the funny thing about the mansion in Martha's Vineyard, I think, is it really exposes the hollow rhetoric behind all this climate change. It shows that Obama himself knows it's nonsense, because if he believed a word of it, if he thought that the oceans were going to rise and his property was going to go underwater, he would not have made the investment, and property values would have plunged. So the buyers know it's not true, the sellers know it's not true, the real estate agents know it's not true. Nobody believes a word of it. So this climate change stuff has become a never land of rhetoric, and you see that even Obama's actions cannot be in sync with that.
That's a great point. And we have this side by side. I think we can look at it and put it up on the screen, what they're projecting for the House and what's going to happen with the water levels and so forth. So Climate Central says that what the Obama Martha's Vineyard home is going to look like in 2016 in the extreme scenario. Can we put up the shot? Do we have it? There it is. There we go. You can kind of see it. Now, what it looks like now, that's what it looks like now. So you see how the water moves into the land areas. I mean, it's kind of scary. If you can, you can see the shaded areas. That's all underwater. That's his house underwater. You see him waving there. But it's ridiculous, Victor. It's do as I say, not as I do. The little people will have to suffer with the new climate change regs. That's what Dinesh is talking about. They're all going to suffer, but Obama's going to be up there counting his Netflix cash in Edgartown, with the swells in Edgartown having a good time.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like medieval penance, that the more that he can remind people he's out organizing, the more he gets to stay in Martha's Vineyard, and he can square that psychological impossible circle. But on the gerrymandering thing, notice he's not going to Illinois, he's not going to California, New York, Massachusetts. Those are all blue gerrymandered states. He's going to these swing states. And then it's kind of an atonement again, Laura, because remember when he was president, he not only lost the House, the Senate, and the future of the Supreme Court, he lost 1,100 local and state offices, and those are precisely the people who will redistrict according to the new census. And so he's more culpable than any Democrat of getting himself in the dilemma that he says he's going to try to get out of right now. The whole thing is rich with irony and paradox and
it's just such
hypocrisy.
A fraud. Dinesh, these are the same people like DiCaprio and all these guys. I'm sure they're nice people. I don't know them. I'm sure they're nice people. But like they're flying to their conventions on their G5s and flying in the beluga caviar, and they're wailing about the latest, horrible story about the Amazon is sad. It's awful. But it's just that none of it squares with the way they live their own lives. None of it.
Yeah, the truth of it is nothing is happening that's that unusual in the Amazon. Even all these pictures on social media of the Amazon burning, most of them are lifted from earlier years, going back as far as 2000. So what's really going on here is Bernie Sanders...
Yeah, there are pretty bad fires.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that... I'm just saying that the fires awful. In the Amazon are no different than the fires that have occurred in previous times. This is not the lungs of the Earth. The Earth is not going to run out of oxygen. What I'm objecting to is the apocalypticism and the alarmism. But, here's the point I want to make. And that's that while these people are saying all this about climate change, the real appeal of it, none of them know if the Earth is getting hotter or colder, nor do they care. What they care about is that the Green New Deal is the smuggling mechanism for a socialist agenda.
Absolutely.
If you just look at the agenda, look at basic income and Medicare for all and raising the minimum wage, and none of this has anything to do with climate change. But since we can't have the old Marxist revolution, the proletariat is not revolting, we have to appeal to the planet. The planet's making us do it.
Yeah, Victor.